Established in 1936, Lake Mead National Recreation Area was America's very first national recreation area. The difference between a national park and a national recreation area is all about the primary goal of the land. For a national park, the primary goal is conservation, and for a national recreation area, it's, well, recreation. And with over 1.5 million acres, the striking landscapes and brilliant blue waters of Lake Mead provide endless possibilities. Swimming, boating, cycling, camping, hunting, fishing, and of course, hiking. My pal Sweetie is on the trail with me today, and I couldn't ask for a better hiking hound than her. She eagerly charges dead ahead, sticking right to the trail, leading the way, but not getting too far ahead. A vast upthrust of fiery red Aztec sandstone is in our sights. Ever present in the distance, these rusty ridges loomed larger at our approach. My excitement flared as helicopter tours flew directly over our destination. This must be one heck of a sight. Something that separates Lake Mead from a lot of the other areas that are managed by the National Park Service is that despite the fact that a major metropolitan area, Las Vegas, is right by this place, there's just not a lot of people out here on the trails. Some of the places that you can just drive right on up to, there's going to be a decent amount of people, but on this trail right here and a lot of the other places that we've gone exploring in Lake Mead over the years, there's just like no one else. Back at the trailhead where you park, there was only 4 cars, including ours. And so Sweetie and I are pretty much all alone here. And that just makes for a really, really cool experience because the landscape, oh, hi, pupper. The landscape here is just so breathtakingly beautiful, and you basically get it all to yourself. I have stopped here with Sweetie in the shade because, you know, I gotta give Sweetie a decent amount of breaks these years because she's getting a little old now, you guys. She's 8, and despite the fact that she loves going on adventures and she still runs all around on the trail like a little puppy, she does wear out a lot sooner than she used to. Like when we first hit the road, she was only 3. And now she's 8. And so I make sure to give lots of breaks, especially in the shade if I'm able to, so that she can cool off. And I've brought my Camelback book bag, and we've got 3 liters of water in that for Sweetie and I. So we've got tons of water, plenty for this, you know, fairly short hike. It's not super long. Online it said that it's 4.4 miles long. Oh yeah, this is the Bowl of Fire Trail. Probably should have said that. It said it's 4.4 miles long, but this isn't really like an official trail. So you just sort of get into the Bowl of Fire, and then you can sort of meander all around, similar to the Valley of Fire in Arches National Park, if you're aware of that. There's no like set trail, so like once you're in the Bowl of Fire, there's like all these different paths you can take, and so we're gonna hang out in there until I can tell that Sweetie's getting tired or I'm getting too tired and we need to head back. So yeah, there's kind of a variable length that you can take. And if you want to check this area out and you have 4-wheel drive on like a truck, or if you've got like a side-by-side or something like that, you can actually drive through one of the washes to get closer to the Bowl of Fire. You don't have to start back at the road like we did. And so, you know, you can cut off a decent amount of hiking by going through that wash. Aztec sandstone gets its rich red tone from high concentrations of iron in the rock. Millions of years ago, this sandstone was encased in rock formed by layers upon layers of highly compressed sediment. Slowly, wind and rain eroded away the sediment to expose the Aztec sandstone, and once it touched air, the iron in the sandstone rusted to a rich red. Evidence of the layered sediment was all around as well. On an unrelated note, will someone please identify this green-blue rock for me? Its color was in such stark contrast to the red around it. One final rise revealed to us the valley we'd been hiking through below and provided an incredible view of the glorious sand-skirted mountains near the trailhead. Immediately after, the terrain blazed with vibrant oranges and reds as we crossed the threshold of the Bowl of Fire.
So let's run away to faraway places, escape from this life we have known. Your eyes are new worlds to discover. Your heart is the place I call home.
We were surrounded by a crimson-walled maze with no true path, no end destination, so I let Sweetie take me where she pleased. Brilliant bluffs pitted with water-worn pockets rose tall to block the sun. I was reminded time and again of Arches National Park while in the Bowl of Fire, except I had the whole place to myself. It feels so good to finally be back on the trail, back adventuring, especially with one of my best friends and an excellent trail companion, Sweetie here. And Sweetie has been such a trooper on this trail. I can tell that she's lost a bit of her stamina, but she is just such a good hiking companion. She just follows right along the trail. She likes to lead. She doesn't like to be behind. She'll just like take off ahead, and then she'll sort of look back and be like, hey, you coming? What's taking so long? And then before you can fully catch up, she takes off again right down the trail, and she follows the trail so well. I want to key you guys in on some changes I've made to Fate Unbound's Patreon page. I've added some new rewards to patrons, and I think one of them you will really, really like. And it's that I found a way to provide you guys with not just early access to videos, so you can be the first ones to see new videos before anyone else, days in advance. But the big one is I figured out how to provide you with those videos ad-free. So, you can watch the videos early and with no YouTube ads, so they'll be completely uninterrupted. And I've also added some new rewards as well, and if you want to check those out, just go to patreon.com/fateunbound. I'll drop a link in the video description below too to make it easier for you. The Bowl of Fire has been a fairly easy hike, I'd say moderate. You don't need a ton of hiking experience or a ton of stamina to make it back to the Bowl of Fire from the trailhead at the road. And I was ready for the red sandstone. I was ready for the explosion of color from the kind of typical desolate looking areas of Lake Mead, especially when driving on the highway. Lake Mead it sort of looks like a desolate desert with some cool mountain formations, of course. But then once you get into the Bowl of Fire, it's just the sandstone is just so red. And the greenery is such a stark contrast against that as well. Just the plant life. So green and blue in some places. Extreme contrast. But what I was not ready for, what I didn't see in any of the pictures when I was reading about this hike, was this swirly sandstone. It's like red and white, and I mean, heck, you can even see it right behind Sweetie. It's just so cool. And this whole area that I'm in right now, this valley between the Aztec sandstone upthrust, is all this rainbow sandstone, and it is so beautiful. Well, Sweetie girl, are you ready to go? You ready to head back? Yeah, let's go.
I go on empty-handed, won't let the past define what I see. I'm getting closer to it in each moment I let it be.
By the time we finally left, The sun was setting and Sweetie was more than ready to head home and plop down on something more comfortable than rock. She knew we were leaving and bounded up hills and trotted far ahead in an attempt to rush me along. The setting sun cast dramatic shadows on the familiar mountains that marked the way home. I turned to give one last farewell to a dramatically different part of Lake Mead than what I'm familiar with and returned to the arduous trip back before I was left behind by Sweetie.